I'm here today to do my booktube reading wrap up, and I actually was really successful this week. I actually am really kind of proud of myself because I read pretty much everything that I wanted except for one book, which, that's pretty good. I didn't read 7 books, but I did make some progress. So the first book that I wound up finishing reading was The Wicked King by Holly Black. I really like this book. I gave this book 5 stars. I talk about it definitely in my reading blog where I go in a little bit more depth about it, but I love this book. I don't know physically how I'm going to be able to wait until 2020 for Queen of Nothing. It's going to be a long journey, I'll say that. But I really like this, and I definitely will be rereading this when it comes out into the world in January. But it was definitely a doozy, and I highly recommend reading Wicked King and Cruel Prince back to back because these books are so interconnected that I think it will make the reading experience a little bit better. Logically, this is not even the book that I read, but I can't find my hardback copy of Since You've Been Gone, so I'm showing you guys Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, which I actually read last month. But I actually loved Since You've Been Gone. I loved listening to it. I really loved the characters in that story, and I just love Sloane and Emily's relationship. I am definitely a Sloane, and I have several people in my life I'm definitely an Emily, but I have a lot of people in my life that definitely are a Sloane type person. Basically follows this girl named Emily, and she's very, very shy. She's kind of like, her best friend is a larger than life personality, but one summer her friend just vanishes into thin air, and she has no idea what happened to her, but she does receive a letter with a scavenger hunt that she wants Emily to do. And it kind of sends her on this thing where she meets all these new friends, but she ultimately just wants to find her best friend. But it kind of is a lot about self-discovery, friendship, and a really, really, really fun romance. And I just really liked it. It just put a smile on my face, and it was such a fun way to spend my various adventures into the city. And that is actually the first book that I wound up reading for the readathon, and I wound up finishing it, but it was so much fun. If you have not checked out anything by Morgan Matson, the summer is a great time to pick up any of her reads. And the next book that I wound up reading in a day was To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. I desperately needed a palate cleanser after Wicked King, and this is just such a fun book. Basically follows this girl named Lara Jean. I think she's a junior in this book, and her way of dealing with her crushes is when she has a crush and she kind of wants to be over it, she writes them a letter that pours all her feelings out, and she just addresses them to mail them, doesn't put any stamps on them, and puts them in this hat box. But when the letters unexpectedly get sent, it causes a lot of controversy in Lara Jean's life. And it was just such a fun read. I flew through this in a day when I was watching my nephew, and I really, really liked it. And the movie adaptation comes out the middle of the month. So I'm really excited to just watch the movie and eventually read the next 2 books, because I know that this one was kind of it ended kind of on a conclusion, so I'll be curious to see what happens in book 2 and 3, and if she winds up with the person that she wound up in this book, I don't know. But overall, I just found this book to be super sweet and was super invested in it, and it was a fun read. I gave it 3 stars, and I'm curious to see where the rest of the series will go. I was not even sure I was going to include this in here, but I did finish reading Hocus Pocus the sequel on my phone, on Sunday night, and I actually had an hour and a half left in it because I've been reading it at work steadily over the past couple of weeks, but I did wind up finishing it, and hey, I did read it during Booktubeathon. I did finish it, so I'm including it. I did like it. I thought that was really easy how it was structured, or fun how it was structured, because the first half of the book was basically the movie told in book form, which I thought was really interesting because some kids have never seen Hocus Pocus. I know, the horror. If you have not seen Hocus Pocus, you really need to go watch the movie, but the book was a nice refresher, and I really liked the sequel, what happens after Hocus Pocus, and what happens to these kids' the characters' children, and I just found it to be a really, really fun read. It would be a perfect Halloween read, so I'd almost say wait to read this until Halloween. I wish I kind of did, but I wanted to get my review up and sent to Disney. But overall, it was just a really, really fun read, and if you're looking for kind of an atmospheric Halloween read, this is one that I recommend that you pick up. That I finished reading right in time for Booktubeathon. I think I finished it 11 o'clock on Monday, was The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas, and this book was one that had a pretty spine, which it has blood splattered on it. This was I've never read anything by Kara Thomas. I do have Darkest Corners on my shelves, and I've had that for a while. I've had that for a couple of years. But I was sent this for review from one of the blog sites that I sometimes work with, and I really liked it. basically follows this girl named Monica, and she lives in a town where there is no cheerleaders because 5 years ago there was a series of incidents that really decimated the cheerleader population. There was a bad car accident that killed 2, there was a brutal murder that killed 2, and then there was a suicide that one girl died. And Monica is the sister of one of these girls, and her name is Jen, the girl that died. And about 5 years after, things start not making sense to Monica, and she starts kind of on an investigatory thing to figure out what actually happened. Did her sister really kill herself? Were these girls really killed by the person that they thought they were? And I just found it to be so compelling. I really love this story. It's told through like mostly Jen's point of view. I mean, not Jen's. It's mostly told through Monica's point of view in the present. But during the story, you get interspersements of Jen in the past, and you get like 1 or 2 other point of views that I thought made the story so much more compelling, and I was really engaged by it. Normally when I read these books, the main character is super unlikable, but I actually really liked Monica, and I loved the characters that we got to meet in the story. It was really important to me that one plot twist didn't happen, and that wasn't actually the case. It deals with like a lot of harder issues. Girl drama is a very, very big theme. Sexual things do occur in this book, so I think that, and the after effects of those sexual experiences were really prevalent in this book. Family dynamics, and it was just really a fun read. I love the mystery. I could not predict the mystery either, and I thought that was really interesting, and I just really liked it. I really want to read Darkest Corners. I'm going to hopefully wait until October to read that, and she does have out Little Monsters. I know she wrote a couple other books, and if I like those, I might actually wind up reading those. But overall, I had such a fun Booktubeathon. Last week was so chaotic, and I didn't get to do any of, I think I did like one challenge and a couple of the Bookstagram challenges, and it just was a really, really busy week. But I'm so happy that I forced myself to do it because I read a lot more than I thought I was going to. This is potentially the last month that I'm going to be completely off from all my jobs if I wind up getting hired. So I was really happy to push myself, and now I'm reading some more things that you guys will hear about in my August wrap-up later in the month. But I just want to say thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Make sure you guys are subscribed. My birthday's this week, and there's a possibility some giveaways are coming, so keep a nose out. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments what you end up completing and what were your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys soon.